Who's your MVP?
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And he was before yesterday. He was about for the last 10 or 12 days. That stretch he had, Rich, where he had like 7 triple-doubles in a row. And I got to watch Westbrook in person again this week in here in Arizona. And I'm going to tell you one of the things it wanted for me, or two of the things it wanted for me with him. And there's no argument against James Harden. No argument whatsoever. So I don't want anybody to perceive that I feel that way. But after having a wretched game on Friday night here in Phoenix, Russell Westbrook was 6 for 25. His teammates couldn't make a bucket. Not that that's his fault, but he would have gotten those assists. He should have had all 15 assists on Friday. But he walks right off of the court, losing a game to Phoenix, into the Suns' practice gym. And he worked out and took shots in there for an hour. And when one assistant coach, this is Friday night after the game, when the assistant coach goes in and says, "Can I at least, rebound for you?" Westbrook looked at him and said, "I don't deserve any rebounding. I got to rebound my own misses." And he stayed in there an hour plus. And that's the MVP. And it's because he played with that attitude all year. And at a time when I haven't gotten to the record yet, at a time when more guys are whining about time off and days off and back-to-backs, he was a guy who has played all 81 games so far. I don't even know if he'll play the 82nd, doesn't matter. 81 games. He didn't ask for anything off. His whole off is get off me. That's his off. And to play with that relentlessness and that attitude and restore the faith and the value in a ticket purchased by a mother or father to take a child play, to see him play, that's the MVP. Because you can't count on anything in the NBA these days when it comes to a patron buying a ticket to take a child to see a game. You can't count on anybody. You can count on Russell Westbrook. You can count on Harden, too. But my tiebreaker, and let's face it, we're talking tiebreakers, Rich. That's all we're talking here.
Yeah, we are.
Because these guys have had such great seasons. What he's done, if you say somebody in Oscar, I'm of an age where I do remember the end of Oscar. I can't remember 1962. I was 3 years old. But I remember the end of Oscar when he was playing with Kareem in Milwaukee. Playing with Lou Alcindor in Milwaukee.
Yes.
And so, to me, it's Russell Westbrook with apologies to James Harden, who had a great, great, great season and will likely go further in the playoffs. By the way, how about if those two square off in the second round?
Oh, it's going to happen.
How great is that?
Westbrook and Harden are going to square off first up, Michael. I mean, this is it.
Oh, that's right. 3-6.
3-6. They're going to square.
Man.
They're going to square up first one. And I'm, look, Harden. One of the things that he's got going for him is the fact that, he was a me first guy. Everyone says he couldn't, no one really wants to play with him, et cetera. And he was what was wrong with Houston, and he was taking plays off, et cetera, et cetera. And now he leads the league in assists for a 50-win team. That's a shocker. I'm thinking people are discounting what's happening with Westbrook because they just assumed he was going to do it because he had to, and I think that's unfair.
Well,
actually.
I mean, the thing, too, is, though, remember, Westbrook, the thing that is amazing about him and everything you said about Harden is right on the money, and that's the case for Harden. Westbrook is rebounding like no guard has ever rebounded, and they lost their two best rebounders, Durant and Ibaka. People forget about Ibaka. Well, Ibaka left the team as well. Mm-hmm. So, I for me, it's still Westbrook. It just became Westbrook. I'm not going to say still. I mean, 10 days ago, I think we opened PTI, and Tony said, "Who are you going to vote for?" Because I have a vote. Mm-hmm. And I said, I have no idea. And I didn't have any idea. But what has transpired over the last 10 days, and Westbrook winning these games, and Rich to sit there courtside, he doesn't have a team like Harden does.
It doesn't.
And does that mean that Harden should be penalized? No. I have no argument against Harden. I just have, I think, a stronger argument, at least in my mind, for Westbrook, and I don't fault anybody for voting for James Harden. No chance.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.